Now that we have our structure of our application set up, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to uh, make the autoloader page or function to load all the files that we're going to need in our project. So each of the files that are going to be in these folders, they're going to be auto-loaded to the index space or whatever we need from the view is going to be auto-loaded into here, and everything is going to be interactive in a sense, and this makes it easier that you do not have to be you really won't have to be loading or requiring all the files or including them at a time unless you need to. So this will just auto load everything for you on the fly. So before I get into that, what I want to do is just take a quick look at the COVID-19.txt, which has some basic instructions for what this application is supposed to do. And as it states here, we should create a CRUD application using object-oriented principles. That's basically object-oriented programming. And the application should allow users to add information about infected persons who has the COVID-19 virus. And the application should allow you to update, delete, create, and view. So that's a CRUD application. So that's the name of the user, the age, the address, and the date. And as you can see from the database setup video, which I'll leave a link in the description. If you haven't watched that before, you can go ahead and watch it, where we add even a couple extra class columns like location, or well, it was address, time, and whenever user whosoever is going to add, because we don't want anyone to add in our database. So what we're going to do is just grab probably their name or whatever uh, in our database. The requirements is that we're going to have a database. We set that up, the database connection class. We're going to add that here, and the class should extend the database CRUD class. So we're going to have, I'm not sure if I may make one CRUD class, but or I may make several of them, each of them for like update or whatever aspect of it that I may need. So depending on how I feel, that's what I'll do. It also says that we do not need to make any login or any registration, but depending on how I feel at the end of the video, I'll decide if I want to continue on this thing. Alright, so for this, so I'm just going to close this out, and we're going to open our index.php page. And in our index.php page, what we're going to need here are we're just going to set up the structure of how we're going to auto load the files in here, and I'm going to show you a brief, just a quick of how it's going to actually be implemented, and I'm going to show you how this .htaccess, how important it is for the loading of these. Alright, so let's go ahead and open our PHP tags here. And I'm going to just get rid of the ending tag, because the only thing that's going to be in here is PHP. So it's a good practice to just get rid of the clothing tag there. We're going to use a built-in PHP function. We may use a couple of those, and not a lot, but these make everything much easier. So it's SPL auto load, and this is going to be our auto load function, auto load underscore register, and this function is going to auto load the files that we'll need, and we're going to pass one parameter in this thing that is going to be our auto load function. So this is a function that we are going to create, and this is the built-in function that PHP provides. And I don't remember what the hell this it's not S, it's SPL. Why do I keep putting SPL? It's SPL, not SQL. So I don't remember exactly what the S. As you can see, that the highlighting changed because now PHP realized that this is not a function that it recognizes. So that's it there. Now we're going to create, well, that would be a built-in function, but you can see the color. This represents the built-in functions for PHP itself. So when I create our own personal functions, you will see the difference. So now we're going to just require, once, so that it doesn't keep on loading each time. It doesn't keep reloading. We're going to require the route, which is this this file here. So all the routes that are going to be implemented, we're just going to include them here. And we're not adding a path because we're already in the root directory here. We're just going to close out that, and then we're going to create our function, and the function that we're going to create is the one that we have above here, which is our auto load function. So I'm just going to copy that, so I'm going to type it out, and this function will take one parameter, and this will be our file name. So whatever the name of the file in here is, that's what is going to be passed to this function here. So now we're going to open our curly braces and start writing our code. Here I'm also going to add, so we're just commenting here, and I'm going to add the header. So we're going to require the header here, but because we do not have the header file as yet, and it's going to throw an error, I'm just going to comment the area where I'm going to put it, and then I'm going to just start to load the files that we need. So we're going to use a if function, a if condition, and we're in the condition here, we're going to check if the file exists. If the file exists, and this is another built-in PHP function here. So if the file exists, and we're going to search for it, first one in classes. So this is this folder here, and if that file exists, we're going to check for this file, and we're going to use this right here, whatever the file that we're passing here. We're just going to go ahead and concatenate that. I could probably put a space just for clarity here. Really won't make a difference with the space. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And we want clean URL, so we do not want the .php extension on the URL. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the .php here, .php, and then it will auto load it for you, because I think we're going to just crop the extension so that we have clean URL. And here what we're going to do is we're just going to require the file. If it's found, we're going to require it once. So we're going to require that file, and we're just going to copy out the same thing that's here, and that's pretty much it right there. Let's get rid of that, and I'm going to give this some space just for clarity here, or maybe not. I think I like it better. Less space, that looks much better. Then we're just going to do an if-else function, and if-else function or condition. We're basically going to do the same thing here. We're going to check if the file exists. So now we're going to check for the controllers file. So we're going to say controllers, and same file name, because it's just a variable that we're using here, so it really doesn't matter. And then we're going to require in. If it is found, we're just going to require it here, and we're just going to change this to controllers. And we're pretty much going to do the same thing for everything here. Duplicate not working, so let's copy this, paste it here. We're going to change this to models, change this here to models, and this just makes, and this is the beauty of object-oriented programming, where you don't need to like repeat a lot of codes, because then you just have to pull in all these one by one, and this just makes it a lot easier. Okay, then we're going to put a last else else statement here, and this else statement we're just going to echo. In case we do not find the file, what we're going to do is just echo that file not found. So just in case we do not find the file, then that's what we're going to echo, so it doesn't throw an error. So I don't think it will throw an error because we have this here. Now that is pretty much it. We're just going to add our footer as well, just for the sake of this thing. We're just going to add our footer in here as well. Alright, so now that we have this done, and I'm over 1 minute, I'm just going to quickly, 10 minutes I should say, I'm just going to quickly show you the importance of this thing, how we're going to use it to auto load these. So you can see here we have our index.php. So this is the file here, basically here, and we're doing a query of the URL here. So this is our query statement here. It says, like, wherever you see this question mark here, we know that a querying of something is happening, and we're, as far as I can see, we're loaded in a variable right here. So I'm going to show you how this thing actually works now. So if we should come, let's just come here, let's do a print underscore r function, and we should possibly know our HTTP request. We're just going to use the get request now. We're going to get our URL, and we're going to print that out. So what this will do is that will show you, because let me open this again, we're not going to use this part of the thing. You're not going to see this, and this is going to help with the clean URL. But what it's going to do is going to grab whatever is typed after the PHP, whatever is typed after this, that is what it will grab, and I'll just print it out. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to print it out right here on the index page. So because we're on the index page, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what is happening. Let's say we go to the about page and we click about. As you can see here, the about is being printed out. If we should go to contact, then that is what is being printed out. Basically what is happening is that it's saying index.php and we're querying URL is equal. So this is basically what is happening. Let's say we put Amazon there, and that's pretty much what will be printed out. But because we want clean URLs, what we're doing is we're just going to get rid of this here. We're just going to get rid of this here and just print it out whatever that is passed here. And this is what we're going to grab to know which URL the user is trying to request. That's how we'll know what the user is trying to request. So that is pretty much it for this video. If you've reached this far, I would assume that you are finding this interesting, so you can go ahead and just leave a subscribe or a like, so that you'll be updated when new videos come out, and you can just check those out. The other videos will be in the playlist. You can also go ahead and check those out. I'll leave a link in the description.